Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. Um, I think I need to go into a witness protection program. Um, you literally cannot say anything about Tony Romo. And I get it. Tony Romo is beloved. When I did my video yesterday, I'm trying to set up or keep you guys from setting up expectations that aren't there. Listen, I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and a lot of you guys took it personal that I was trying to take pot shots at Tony Romo because you always take the opportunity to try and belittle Tony Romo and what he did on the field. Hey, I'm not arguing about what Tony Romo did on the field. Tony Romo, electrifying. Tony Romo literally gave everything to the Dallas Cowboys. Everything. He played through injuries. He played with some bad teams. He played with some good ones too. He had some bad luck. The botch snap in Seattle, the catch no catch, things that were beyond his control, poor coaching. I get that. But it's not like, see, here's the problem. When I grew up, you got an MVP, a coach's award, and trying to think what's the other ones. Most improved. But today's society, when you play Little League football, everybody gets a trophy. Here, Johnny, you didn't play a single game all year, but here's your participation trophy. And I see these kids that have tons and tons of trophies and everything else in their place growing up. Yeah, he did this, he did that. But the reality is, that kid's not playing college football. He's not playing in the pros. But every kid that's on his team has got the same ones. And that's the mentality of a lot of you guys today. A lot of you guys have only seen this bubble of your lifetime. That's why David Carr says, "Oh, Joe Montana's not in my top 10 because you don't know shit. You just don't. You haven't seen it, you haven't experienced it, you don't know." And all of these things that where people have put Tony Romo that up here, he's the greatest quarterback ever and he's a hall. I'm sorry. That's your heart talking. The numbers say there's a lot of guys in his era that have more. And I get it. His career was shortened because of injuries. He sat for the 4 years that he didn't play as long, but it still does not say you should be up here. Drew Bledsoe got a ring, was instrumental in winning the AFC championship game, which got New England to that Super Bowl that Tom Brady won. His numbers in every category are higher than Tony Romo's. But Drew Bledsoe's not a Hall of Famer. And if you honestly believe Tony Romo is, then you think that Drew Bledsoe is. That also means that Eli Manning is, as well as other people. But I'm going to get away from that. If you want to hate me for basically saying there's no Santa Claus, then hate me. But you have to face fact, or you're going to forever set yourself up for disappointment. We have to be realistic. I love Tony Romo. I got a couple pieces in here autographed by Tony Romo. Why? Because I paid to get those done. Okay? I got a Joe Boo jersey. I got a hard hat over there. Tony Romo. I don't hate Tony Romo. But I'm sorry. It's not a Hall of Famer. So, OTAs are in the books. On the 11th, we have 3-day mini camp, and that's it until training camp when they take off on the 25th of July. We are 91 days, 12 hours, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. And it's time to start really getting excited. Um, it seems like yesterday that we were having the 100-day show. Actually, it seems like yesterday that we got this, and it was 226 days on it. The time is just ticking away. Um, so some news on our Cowboys. Zeke Elliott. We saw the victim, last week said that he wants a sincere apology because the one he got before wasn't sincere enough for him as he smiled through the interview and he was hurt. I don't know that apology has happened. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know. Kellen Moore, and I'm going to tell you something that I'm noticing more than ever before with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is speaking less on the day-to-day stuff, and others are beginning to be more vocal. Kellen Moore is actually talking quite a bit, which I'm kind of surprised. Um, you hear Chris Richard on a regular. You hear Stephen Jones a lot. And Stephen Jones, here's the thing with Stephen Jones. When Stephen Jones says something, take it to the bank because he doesn't say stuff out there that just try and get you on a wild goose chase like Jerry will. When Stephen talks, pay very, very good attention to it. But Kellen Moore was speaking about Zeke Elliott, and Kellen Moore realizes, listen, Zeke's the guy. At the end of the day, we want to get him as many touches as we can. At the same time, you have to recognize what a 16-game season is. We'll see how it progresses with the other running backs, but if we can get Zeke in, we're going to get Zeke in. So in other words, we're going to run him. He's the focal point of this offense, and we're going to continue to. And on Zeke, running back coach Gary Brown, again, more and more people are talking. Gary Brown on Zeke Elliott's Vegas incident. We talked about it. He understands. I can't put myself in these positions. I got to be smarter. He already knows that he has done something that wasn't right. He's got to move forward, and we all make mistakes. I agree. We all make mistakes. And I got to tell you, if you're 24 years old and you have a boatload of money, and I think back to some of the things I did in college, thank God there's not social media like when I was. My nickname in college was Crazy Mark, and it sticks to me to this day. However, there is social media. You do have a lot of money, and people are out to get you. And you cannot be a victim of your own self. And that's where you are, Zeke. You got no room for error. You've got to get this thing in your head that I have to do it better, smarter, wiser than everybody else. That I cannot be just out walking around drunk, following my girlfriend because somebody is going to take a picture. Somebody's going to try and get you pissed off because somebody's going to try and get paid and make a name for themselves. Got to grow up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just can't. Hopefully, we can dodge a bullet here, and hopefully, maybe he sweats it out a little bit and wakes up and says, I can't do this. And finally, Byron Jones, one of our walking wounded right now, he is setting a timetable of hopefully being ready by training camp to get back from his hip flexor surgery. That's huge if we can get him back fully for training camp. We already know we got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's recovering. We got La'el Collins, who's recovering as well as from rotator cuff surgery. We need to get these guys healthy and ready for training camp. One of the best things that I think has happened with this team, we're hearing from Kellen Moore and John Kitna that Dak is getting more accurate down the field. They're pushing the ball down the field. You've got now horses that can go down the field, and that Dak Prescott is now working on the deep ball. If you can take what Dak Prescott already has, his running ability, where he's got 18 rushing touchdowns in 3 years, leading the NFL. I'm not trying to make him RG3 or a running quarterback, but you do what you got to do to win. I mean, we've seen Tom Brady and Nick Foles catch touchdown passes. If we can add a deep ball to his repertoire with these guys, that instead of us shortening the field because we're running the football and doing the shorter routes and stuff, which is ball control, If we can throw in the deep pass from time to time and keep teams off their feet, it's going to really open up this offense. And I dare say, I believe this offense will be a top 10. Let me say it again. I believe that this offense will be a top 10. Now, one final note that I'm going to give to you guys. Tony Romo success, as well as Roger Staubach's and Troy Aikman's and Dak Prescott, are successful because of the system. Let me make sure I get this right. A lot of their success comes from the system that they're in, but it's not advantageous for great numbers. Understand the Dallas Cowboys identity forever has always been great running backs, great running games, ball control, and great defense, where it doesn't have to be always on the quarterback, that the running game is going to balance it out and make it easier for the passing game, that the defense is going to give the ball to the offense more times than not and keep the games low scoring. And by that, you end up being successful. Now, one of the problems for Tony Romo, for most of the time, we didn't have that defense that always shut people down and got the ball back. We didn't always have that great running back. But you see, in 2014, when we had DeMarco Murray doing what he did, and Tony Romo only had to throw for like 3,600 yards, it was the winning formula for the Dallas Cowboys. And with that being said, it keeps the numbers down. That's why when you look at Tony Romo's numbers in comparison to Troy Aikman only had one season where he threw 20 touchdowns or more. One. Same thing with Roger Staubach. In comparison to other quarterbacks out there, Jim Kelly, who was the K-gun, to Peyton Manning, who it was all about the pass. They didn't have those bellwether running backs like the Cowboys. It keeps the number and statistics down. And I know we are a fantasy football generation now, but what really should matter more so than the numbers is winning freaking games. That's all I care about. Did we win on Sunday? I don't care about 5,000 yard season. The question is, are we in the playoffs and going to a Super Bowl? And it seems like too many people forget that equation when it comes to football. So with that being said, guys, I got to get on over to Don's house. We're got to get the drywall and stuff blocked, and I got to go pick up some plywood so I can start fabricating his cabinets and things, and keep on rolling. But as always, friends, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. I'll see you guys soon.